Hello, hello, hello. How are you guys doing today? Happy Tuesday. Oh my gosh, I cannot believe it is Tuesday already. I keep on thinking that yesterday, all day today, I thought that last night was Sunday. And let me tell you how I remind myself that it wasn't. I was like, oh, Sister Wives wasn't on last night. That's how I remembered that yesterday wasn't Sunday. But yeah, I just, all day long today, I've been thinking that yesterday was Sunday. Anyway, let's do a little time and temperature check. I'm going to try to provide some order to this vlog today because I have been all over the place in my vlogs recently. So let's try to start this off with some order. It is currently 5:50 p.m. and it is muggy outside and humid, but I'm loving it. Because it just rained. And I have to tell you something funny about this rain situation that's been going on. Okay, I want to look and see when it's supposed to rain tonight because I really wanted to take my walk. But it continues to like rain and then stop and rain and then stop. It is, hold on a second. It is 84 degrees outside right now. Let's see if it says it's going to rain anytime. It says no rain on here. Oh, no, it does. Oh, no, that's tomorrow. Oh, all day today. Tomorrow it's supposed to rain from 12 until 12 p.m. all the way through 8 a.m. the next morning. It's supposed to rain. So all day Wednesday into Thursday it's supposed to rain. Okay, so let me tell you what's funny is that I've come outside multiple times today, and every time that I come outside, it's just rained. But I haven't seen it rain today. Like, I looked out the window and I was like, is it raining? So earlier I was filming this drama video. I almost couldn't get through it because they're doing some kind of repairs to the, I don't know, I don't really understand what it is. It's like the wall next to the door on our patio. They're doing like around the sliding glass door. They're doing repairs to that before I guess they're gonna paint it after that. So I didn't know they were coming out here to do that today. I thought the painting was almost done, except for like some touching up on the back of it. I actually called texted the landscaper today and was like, hey, like I think they're done in the front of the house. And he does a lot of different stuff in here. And so he texted me back and he was like, yeah, I noticed that. And I said, if you can get me on the list as soon as possible, that would be great. If I have to wait, I totally understand that. And he said that he has me on the list for next Friday. So I was like, that's great. And he was like, but I will, not like a week from Friday. He said he would text me by Friday and give me like a definitive day and time that he's going to come out here. So as of next weekend, is this my husband coming in right now? Kind of sounds like his car. No? Didn't look anything like his car, but it kind of sounded like his car. Alex's car is kind of loud. So as of next week, the landscaping will be done, which I'm very excited about. But he kept on stopping, and so I didn't, like the first time I was filming my drama video, I went out there and I was like, and I talked to him for a second. He's like, yeah, we're just like patching. It was really nice. But anyway, so then he's like, but I have to take a break for a second. And then anyway, I went down there the second time to look, and it was raining. It like just rained outside, and that's why he stopped. Then when I got done with my drama video, and I got done with my, my Peter Watches TV video, because I did 1,000-Pound Roomies. I watched that last night and took notes. When I was done, I was up rendering that video, I came out here to feed my bird feeders, and it was like soaking wet. And my neighbor was out across the street, and I said, did it just rain? She goes, yeah, it just like downpoured. Did you not hear it? And I was like, no. She was like, it was so loud inside. Well, I literally just came outside, and as soon as I walked out, I didn't even notice that, like, you can see that the walkway is like wet and stuff. I don't know if you can see it, but there's like rain coming up here. I mean, it must have just like, and you can see over there, it's pooling. It's over there, like the water is like pooling. But anyway, I didn't even notice that it had rained. I'm sitting on top of this pillow right now. I have to adjust it. Hold on a second. I didn't even notice that it had rained or heard anything. So it's like rained off and on. But like right now it's kind of sunny outside. So I guess it like rains for like, my neighbor said it just like rained for like 10 minutes and then it stopped. So it's rained like off and on all day long. But it doesn't look like it's supposed to rain anymore. I did not walk last night. So I want to walk tonight. Alex texted me about an hour ago and said that when he got done with work, he was going to get an IV injection. And then after that, he was going to come home. So we need to catch up on RuPaul's Drag Race. We need to catch up on Atlanta. We were going to do that last night. I was really, really tired. He was super, super tired. When I got done with my vlog last night, I went upstairs and he was asleep. And so he started getting up, and I said, do you want to get up and watch shows? He's like, oh, we can get up and watch shows. I said, babe, if you're tired from this weekend, I said, just go sleep through the night. I don't really care. I said, I can watch my shows. And he's like, are you sure? And I said, yeah. So then I was watching Love After Lockup, and I was eating my dinner, and I was like, I'm going to lay down anyway. I said, I'm really tired tonight. I want to give my body a rest for a night. So he was like, okay. So when I was watching Love After Lockup, I had like all the lights off in the kitchen and stuff, and the lights went on, and he came downstairs, and then he, like, I know, like, I have my AirPods in, and so I shot it up, and I said, did you just come downstairs? And he's like, yeah, because I was like, maybe, did I not notice that, or like, did I get that wrong? He's like, yeah, I just came down for some water. And I said, are you staying up? He goes, no, I'm going back to bed, I'm tired. So he pretty much slept like the entire night last night. Who just texted me? Hold on a second. Oh, Alex texted me. Some other people texted me too. Hold on a second. Oh, Alex is on his way home. So anyway, so yeah, so I did not walk last night. I took a wonderful, wonderful nap. Although, I have to tell you something. So, you know, I've been walking like most weeks, like 4 days a week, and I try to make it at least 2 hours. Although, like, the most I've walked is 2 hours and 27 minutes, but I try to make it 2 hours. And so I looked on, do you guys have like the health app thing? Okay, so I looked on my health app thing. I was just looking through here. I mean, you can see that, like, you can see on, like, the days that I walk versus the days that I don't walk. Okay. So, like, 16,981 steps I walked on Saturday. That was my really long day. That was the 2 hours and 27 minutes. But when you look underneath here, okay, it'll tell you, like, what your average steps are over the last 7 days. This is where I would like to keep it at. My average steps for the last 7 days, are you ready for this? 12,183 steps for my, if I could keep that like a year, like my average steps for the year right now are 3,911. So I gotta get it up. But I just started walking like, you know, oh my God, Lord, that chipmunk just went over there. Like 5 weeks ago, 6 weeks ago or something like that. So, oh no, it's been longer than that, I think. Has it been? I don't know. But I was really proud of that when I looked at it, because I looked last week and it was my average steps were like 10,000 for the last 7 days. So it's gone up 2,000 steps a day. So people have told me to get like pedometers. Like one of Alex's friends has one of those Aura rings. They're very expensive, and I don't think I would, she uses like all the functions on it. I don't think I would use that. A couple of you have recommended for me to get like some things on there and whatever. I like the iPhone. I mean, the iPhone works for me. I just carry it in my hand when I'm walking and stuff like that. If it rains, I put it in my pocket. The only thing is, it's not 100% accurate, because when I'm moving around the house or whatever, like if I'm feeding the birds or walking down the yard and whatever, I don't like have my phone on me. I leave it inside. When I'm walking up and down the stairs, I don't typically have the phone. But I mean, what are we talking? The difference of 300 steps a day, I don't really care about that. But anyway, so I really would like to walk tonight. I'm going to text him back and just tell him that I'm vlogging. And he'll of course want to watch Love After Lockup at 9. So if I get done with this vlog, if I could walk from like, well, maybe he'll watch Love After Lockup and then we'll watch our shows after that. I kind of want to take a nap. I've been enjoying my naps. Like the last 2 nights, I really enjoyed my naps. So yeah, it's been a good day. I didn't get as much done as I wanted to get done today. I wanted to film a bunch of videos, and I had a list of a bunch of videos that I wanted to do. But I didn't get as many videos filmed as I wanted to because they were working on the patio. And so I was like, it was really, really loud. If you watch my drama video, it's like twice I have to stop the video because it's loud. And so I thought, and I was like, I really wanted to get my reaction to 1,000 Pound Roomies because it's on tonight. I gotta get caught up. I gotta get caught up in my regular shows that I'm watching. And I want to watch that new show called Virgins on TLC, if you guys heard about this. And then I want to watch All of the Mortician is out now on HBO Max. It's a 3-part series. It's supposed to be fantastic. I might watch that tonight. And then I also want to watch the Ocean Gate thing on Netflix, Astro World. The Sherry Papini case, I still haven't watched, or the 4-part docuseries of that I haven't watched. So there's a bunch of true crime that I want to watch this week. I did finish Harper's Island last night. Thank you so much, Ebony. She commented, I think, on the vlog last night. Thank you so much, or maybe, I think it was on there. Yeah, I'm going to put up a post. Did I talk about this? What I've decided to do? That I'm going to post on my Peter Watches TV Instagram. So I'm going to, any show I finish and watch, I'm going to post over there. Even if I don't react to it. So, like, I'm not going to do a reaction to Harper's Island because it came out in, like, 2012, I think, or something. But I'm going to do a post of it. Just, you know, that way people can see everything that I've watched. But I really, really liked it. It was 13 episodes. I will say this. If you've watched it, I'd be interested to know if anybody remembers the show. It was 13 episodes. It kind of could have probably been 10 or 11 episodes. Like, the last, it got kind of redundant towards the end. And I will say this. I had part of it figured out. Like, I kind of knew who, like, I kind of knew something that was going to happen. Like, I felt like very early on, I kind of had a feeling about it. It didn't ruin the show for me at all, though. The show's good. It's very scary. It's, like, pretty much, like, none of them, like, make it. Anyway, I don't want to, like, it's a scary show. It's a good mystery. Like I said, if you don't mind, like, buying it, I bought it on Apple. It was $9.99 for the whole, all 13 episodes. I think you can get it on Prime, too. I think I got it on Apple because on Apple it was like 99 cents an episode or $9.99 for the whole thing. Oh my God, you guys. So I put the dandelions down there at the end, and the chipmunk is eating them right now. There were all these dandelions out in the yard when I was talking to my neighbor. Can you see the little dandelions at the end? Let me put it on the table so you can see it a little clearer. Come on, little guy, focus. So right, if I put my finger on it, you can't see it. Other one of my focus, hold on. Oh, he's eating the corn that I put there. But right in front of him on the sidewalk, you can see I laid down like 3 or 4 dandelions. Oh, did they come and eat the... I think it looks like they ate like the heads off the dandelions already. Isn't he so sweet? There's a bunch of them that live in the hostas because they come running out of the hostas. I think they live underground. Was I on the vlog when I was looking that up? But apparently chipmunks make little, like, holes in the ground, and sometimes they make them under hostas, so they don't nest in hostas, necessarily. I'm loving the chipmunks this year. They're so cute. Go into the sidewalk so he can see you better. Come on, buddy. He's so sweet, isn't he? Oh, look, there he is. Hi, honey. What are you doing? Are you eating some corn? Look at that little guy. Aww. Let's make you the star that you deserve to be. Oh, somebody's coming because all the birds ran away and he flew away. Isn't that so funny? I love them. So I was talking to my neighbor today. She was out in her yard, and I was putting all the food down. I said, you know, it's so strange. I said, because she was standing like in my yard while I was like putting all the corn down. And I said, you know what is so crazy? You guys literally, you have no idea how much corn I throw down on the ground. So I threw, she said the chipmunks. I said, oh yeah, let me put some over here by the edge so the chipmunk would come over there and eat it. And I said, I was telling her I put all this corn down. Oh, he's over by the tree now. So, I mean, I literally just take like, I have this big like yellow, like 1 cup scoop thing, and I scoop it, throw it, scoop it, throw it, scoop it, throw it. Probably like 8 cups are on the ground every single day. And then I put this like herbivore mix down. That's for like herbivores, and it's got like all these like wild flowers and stuff that they can eat, and it's all like dried out and whatever. I put that down. And then I put this like seed, it's not bird, well it is bird seed, but it's kind of like this mix of different stuff. And both that and the corn have, oh, there's a bird, there's like a bird on the, well, the finch feeder is full right now, but there's a bird that just is sitting inside the wooden bird feeder. But I put all this stuff on the ground, okay? And she was like, please keep on doing that so the ducks will come to your yard, not mine. But every day when I go out there, like literally it looks like the landscapers just came out there and cut the grass, which they don't do every day. It's only, you know, on Tuesdays. Well, did they come out here today? Oh, they did cut the grass today. It looks nice. I didn't even hear them out here earlier. But anyway, and they must have got out here before it was raining. Every morning, it is like literally every little piece of corn and every seed and everything is completely picked off the ground. It's crazy. And when I go to sleep at night, it's not. So it must like, or I mean, I don't come out here that much at night anymore, but I'll come out here to do my prayers and meditations and stuff, and I can still see it underneath the tree. So it must happen between like 1 and like 6 in the morning, or maybe it happens in the morning before I get up, that they come out here and they eat all that stuff. Maybe that's when it happens, probably. Oh, by the way, okay, let me tell the story, first of all, okay? So I was so excited to show you this woodpecker yesterday. It's not my fault. I could go back and find the comment and I could blame it on somebody, but I don't have that kind of time or energy. So there was like 3 of you that let me know that that woodpecker that I showed you yesterday was actually not a woodpecker. It was actually a female cardinal, okay? Which previously I was calling the red cardinals she, and getting it wrong because apparently those are male cardinals. I'm learning a lot about birds, talking to y'all about birds, okay? People are like, there's bird books. People have sent me bird books. I have them inside. I go through them, and in all honesty, I get very confused, okay? Because a lot of the birds look very similar to me, if you want to know the truth, okay? I love looking through the bird books, but I'm like, is that it? I get very confused looking through the bird books, okay? But the reason why I said that was a woodpecker was because one day, about a week ago, you can go back and fact check it in the comments. I don't know who she was, Sally Jones, somebody, okay? I was showing this bird, and I said, isn't that bird so pretty? And somebody commented and said, that is a baby, like a little woodpecker. And so when I showed you guys that yesterday, I was so excited because I was like, oh my God, I actually know that that's like a miniature woodpecker or baby woodpecker or something. And I was so excited to show you guys this woodpecker that I could actually spot a bird, okay? And then I get flooded with all these comments and people are like, I feel set up. I feel set up. No, I do. No, I'm joking about all this. You know that, right? But anyway, so I got all these comments yesterday. People are like, Peter, that's not a woodpecker. That's actually a female cardinal. But I've actually learned something now. So now I know when I see a male and a female cardinal, I know what they are. But then some of you guys were saying that like the male ducks are really like violent and vicious and sometimes kill the female ducks. I didn't know that. That is so horrible. Not in my yard. Not my machine. Not my yard, they're not doing it. No, I will chase them off. There's a squirrel that keeps on running over the edge. Do you see me keep on turning? It runs over the edge of the driveway and then it runs back. I don't know if it's good. I didn't put any corn over there. But anyway, oh, it's a little chipmunk. He's back. Hi, honey. They move so fast, don't they? So yeah, so I was wrong about the woodpecker, Woody Woodpecker. I was wrong about Woody Woodpecker. It doesn't matter, I guess. But I'm learning a lot from you guys when you'll say, oh, like the mourning dove. I wouldn't have known that that sound was a mourning dove unless you guys told me that. I wouldn't know the stuff about the cardinals. Oh, here's Alex. He went. I wouldn't have known this stuff about all the different kinds of birds and things like that, you know, like, if you guys hadn't told me. So thank you. I appreciate that for letting me know. And I apologize for getting it wrong and saying, I was kind of hoping that, I'll be honest with you, like, I love the Cardinals, don't get me wrong. But I was kind of hoping it's like, you know, back in the day, did you guys ever see those, you can look them up. I've talked about this on here before. I really, so truly wanted to believe in them. The little baby giraffes. Hold on a second. Baby giraffe, miniature giraffes. I think I even showed it to Alex, like when I first saw the picture. And he was like, that is fake. Do you not know that? And I was like, don't say that. Have you guys not seen it? Okay, this is so funny. Look at these, like, pictures, okay? This person, like, holding this, like, giraffe in their hand. That's not the picture I saw, though, originally. I think this is the picture that I saw originally. It was, like, this person holding this giraffe. I mean, I'm sure there are miniature woodpeckers. There have to be, right? In my world, there are miniature woodpeckers. Or baby woodpeckers. Maybe this is the one. You could like buy, supposedly you could buy these like miniature, why am I even looking this stuff up? It's like the cash cat. I used to swear by the cash cat. Do you guys know what the cash cat is? Look, I'm gonna put it up here. I just know as soon as I start talking about the cash cat, money's gonna come my way. It truly does work, though, I'm telling you right now. So it's all these pictures of these cats that have a bunch of money around them. I used to so believe in the cash cat that if you posted it, it meant you were going to get a lot of money. I'm going to post one on my Instagram. Look, I'm going to post it right now. I'm going to put, don't ever forget the cash cat. I'm going to put it on my Instagram right now. Hold on. I'm going to put, never forget. Oh my lord, this bird just flew out of the hosta. Never forget the power of cash cats. Do you guys remember the cash cats? Now watch, I'm going to post this, and I'm going to get a bunch of money. You just know I am. It's going to happen. Oh, look, there's my... There was, see, I posted my £1,000. I'm making those on I make them and then I post them. Those are pretty good, don't you think? I'm not very technological. Anyway... But I'm learning a lot about nature from you guys. I love when, like, I watch movies. It's like Trip to Bountiful, Geraldine Page, when she's sitting on the back patio of her house at the very end. I can reference this movie. If you haven't seen it, it came out 20 years ago. I don't mean to ruin it for you, but it was also part of Peter's Movie Club last year. Rear Window is this week's movie. But when she's talking about mockingjays, and she goes, but I'm what does she say? I'm mighty partial to a scissortail. How do people know birds like, how do y'all know birds like that? Like, I mean, like a cardinal, I know, and like a blue jay and stuff. But there's right now in my tree, there's 5 different kinds of birds. I couldn't tell you what any of them birds are. Brown birds, one's a gray bird. Is that a blue jay? I can't see, that thing is swinging. It's like 3 brown birds of different, they look different to me, but I couldn't tell you what it is. I couldn't tell you if it was a scissortail or, I can tell you what it's not. It's not a woodpecker. Whoever said that and said that it was a woodpecker that I showed, you set me up. You set me up for failure. This one chipmunk is going to be so full tonight. He just keeps on running out there and eating. He is so cute. Chippy. Chippy! Hey, Chippy! He's like eating all his corn. There's a whole family of people going down to the pool. They got kids and strollers. I tell you what, today is not the day to go to the pool tonight. I won't be going to the pool tonight because, well, my plan is to get my walk in. Gotta get my walk in. And I'm gonna listen to my audiobooks. It's kind of humid for a walk though. But I'm gonna do the walk anyway. See, this is the thing. I always like have such a hard time. I have to talk myself into it in my head. I have to say, first of all, you're gonna love listening to your audiobook. You can explore new places, because I always go down some road I've never gone down before. And then I see new houses that I've never seen before, you know, and stuff like that. So it's fun, I enjoy it. But I'm like, Angel, feel better when you come home. When you come home, you feel so good and all that kind of stuff. Take a shower, put on your comfy pajamas. But I kind of have to talk myself into it, because like, I don't know what these blackbirds are. They're not crows. But they come and they just swoop in, and they like, it does not matter how many birds are on a bird feeder. They just push them all off. It's kind of mean. They're kind of, you're a mean bird. And just takes it and just pushes the food off in the ground. That's probably why I have to fill those feeders, because you guys just, they're messy eaters. There's this one little bird, the little bird's like this big, just sitting in the branch. Like, is there any space for me to eat? I'm hungry too. I mean, where do they eat? Now, I mean, like, I put the food out. Do you think they just go from yard to yard to pick people's bird feeders? Like, do you think they tell each other that there's bird feeders over there? They're literally, you are making a mess. Okay, so the dish is on the bottom of it, so it's all sitting around there, and they eat it, but they push it out like that. That's why I'm like, Luce, I go through so much food. Why are you being so messy? You birds are bad. They're these two big birds that are on the, one's like gray and one's black, and they're just throwing it to her side like she can't be bothered with any of it. Then get off the bird feeder. She's just throwing it all around. You are messy. I would never take you out to dinner. Look at those little birds. They have more class than you do. Get off that bird feeder. You were just throwing all my bird feed on the ground. That is not nice. I pay a lot of money for that bird feed. I am having to buy like a 20-pound bag of bird feed a week though, and like a 10-pound bag of the corn. I'm going through that like every week. It's expensive, but it brings me so much happiness. It's cheaper than, it's cheaper than spa treatments, I'll say that. Okay, so anyway, last night, what was last night? Monday? Last night was Monday. Alex was asleep. Was last night Monday? See, I keep on wanting to say it was Sunday. It is. Yeah, it's Tuesday. Oh, today is Caroline and Mike's anniversary, their 30-year anniversary. She's on a girls' trip. I texted them both today. He said thanks, and she said love you. It feels so weird. Like, I remember... my mom had just gotten sober. It's so weird. Like, I remember exactly. Like, I remember the rehearsal dinner that was over at my aunt and uncle's house. I walk by, most nights, I walk by their old house. And, there's my pool crew lady. She's checking her mailbox. Pool crew lady number 2. She's checking her mailbox. But anyway, I remember the rehearsal dinner. Maybe the rehearsal dinner wasn't at my aunt's house. Maybe there was, like, a cocktail party there. I feel like the rehearsal dinner was... where was it? I feel like it was a restaurant. Oh, I know where it was now. It was at, what's that country club called? It was at Woodstock Country Club, which was beautiful. My uncle's 70th birthday was there too. They weren't members of it, but it's a beautiful country club. Some friends of ours are members there and play golf there. Oh, she's checking her plants around her. She needs to go to the pool with me is what she needs to do. But anyway, I remember Caroline's rehearsal, like, that night. I remember the cocktail party at my aunt and uncle's house. I remember I wore this, like, beige suit, and my hair was, like, this length. Well, no, it was, like, a little bit longer, and I had it tucked behind my ears. And it was, like, parted down the middle. And it was real light at that point. My hair was always, like, real dark, but it was, like, had, like a lot of blonde in it. That I must have been, like, going out to the pool a lot or something that May, because that would have been, well, June 17th. And, so, and I remember the wedding. Remember Caroline's wedding. Remember being at the wedding. I read at her wedding. I wrote a poem called Moira's Mystical Tea, which is so funny that all these years later that the name Moira was used for Schitt's Creek. Not like I came up with the name Moira, but anyway. So Caroline and Mike asked me to read at their wedding. My mom she read the Corinthians thing. I wrote this poem, and it was called Moira's Mystical Tea. And it was about this woman that lived out, it was real funny, but it was also real loving and endearing. And it was about this woman that, I have it down in the basement, I should read it. Oh, you know what, I should have brought it to read for today. But it's about this woman that lives out in the middle of nowhere in the country, and her name's Moira, and she's this tea reader. I don't know why I wrote it about that, but anyway. And so... it was, like, about Mike and Caroline, and somebody had gifted them this, like, free, like, tea reading, so they went to go to Moira to have this tea reading, and she went out there, and so they're, like, she's reading their tea leaves and all this stuff, and what she says at the end is basically that, like, as they're going there to find out what, like, the magic is to, like, a good marriage, and, what she tells them is, like, oh, the magic's not in the tea, the magic's not in the leaves, the magic is in how you treat each other through the years. And it's not in the big moments that your marriage is, like, tested or whatever. It's like, at night, like, I can remember I put this part in there, like, at night, when she's cold in bed, you cover up her feet. Or, you know, if she's, you know, not feeling great, you ask her if you can get another pillow. Or, you know, if he's not feeling good, you know, or he doesn't have time for coffee, you make him coffee in the morning. It's those small moments. And that's what really, like, binds a marriage together. And so that was what Moira's Mystical Tea was about. But anyway, the camera stopped. I have that somewhere in the basement. I should bring that up here and read it to you guys. I feel like I have read it before on camera. It's so weird. And then my mom, she had this big, I'll never forget, she wore this really, she was so excited about this dress. She had like this, like beige and white cream. It was like these big flowers. Like imagine like White Lotus, that movie, but it was, I think it was from Banana Republic. And she had this big like straw brim hat that had like this white like ribbon that came off the back of it. It was really cute. My mom's hair was like, we kind of had the same haircut, honestly, at that time. Because it was right after she had like alopecia, like up until like the year before, and she grew all of her hair back. And, yeah, that's what she wore to the wedding, because the wedding reception, she had another dress, I think she got from Banana Republic. I have the picture inside. It's the picture I always show of my mom. And she has a black dress on, and she's standing with her, like, her hands behind her back. And, she's a black dress on for that one. These cute little heels that she loved. But I remember, so Caroline had like, Caroline's wedding was like 500 people. I think like 450 of them were friends of my aunt's. Caroline and I still joke about that to this day. But anyway, Caroline had like 10 bridal luncheons. My mom, I can remember my mom being like, this is getting so expensive. I was like, what do you mean? She's like, I can't, like, you have to bring a gift for every one of these. She's like, I'm not a bridesmaid. She's like, but I'm, like, they made my mom something special for the wedding. I can't remember, like, a position. Like, you know, there was, like, mother of the bride. I can't remember what they made my mom. It was, like, something special because she was, like, Caroline's, like, only aunt on my mom's side and was so close with Caroline. They made her something special. So, like, it was always, like, my aunt and my mom at, like, every shower, everything. So, my mom had to go to all of it. I remember by, like, the fourth one. I actually have the picture inside. It was, like, this luncheon. And it was at some, like, really beautiful place here in town. And then they, like, hired this guy to do, like, drawings or paintings of all of the people. Like, he did a painting of, like, each person. It wasn't, like, a caricaturish. I'll show you the painting. I have it. It's really cool, actually. It looks like a watercolor, like, some, like, French watercolor. But, like, it was, like, a 2-hour luncheon, and so he sat there and he painted all these different pictures of different people. But then he painted, like, scenes of the table and stuff. And, I know this one because it's my mom. She had, like, this white, like, sailor suit dress on kind of thing. I don't know why she wore that to this, but anyway. She loved this dress. And that's how I know, because in the picture that she has, she's like turning and she's like next to Caroline in this thing. And, but I remember that was the party because like everybody at the thing like bought their picture or something, like framed or whatever. And my mom was like, she and my aunt got in a fight. My mom was like, I don't have enough money to buy it. It was like $300 a painting. The painting is pretty fantastic. I should show it. It's really a cool painting. I mean, it's literally like a dinner table setting. It's like all these people sitting there. It's really cool. But my mom was like, I don't have enough money to buy the painting. And she was like, I think the guy like got paid by the commissions on the paintings or something like that. So that year for Christmas, my aunt bought her she had bought her the painting, and she gave it to her, and she's like, now you can just stop complaining about that stupid luncheon. They always fought. But anyway, I remember my mom being like, I mean, girlfriends of mine through the years now, I mean, like, I've experienced it, but at that point, I really hadn't experienced it, because not that many people that I knew got married. But my mom was like, she's like, I have, like, every one of these engagement parties you go to, you have to take a gift. Every bridal shower, you have to take a gift. They had, like, I think they had, like, 3, like, couples engagement parties. I went to, like, 1. The tripod fell. Did I say somebody said the other day, what did I call it? I've now added a third name to it. But anyway, I went to 1 engagement party. I was busy. I could be going to no. Maybe I went to more than that. I don't remember. But my mom would be like, it's so expensive. Now girlfriends of mine have been like, I have friends of mine, like, You know, I feel kind of bad for, like, Alex's girlfriend. Well, I mean, Alex has to, you know, get a gift for all this kind of stuff because he goes to all the bachelorette parties, all the bridal showers, all this kind of stuff. But, like, he has 4 girlfriends of his that are getting married. He is officiating one wedding. One wedding they're not having any groomsmen or bachelorettes. They're not having a groom party or a bridal party. Bridesmaids or groomsmen. The other wedding they are, but he's not in that one. And the 4th one, they're going out of the country to get married. Yeah. And so, but like, some of these friends of Alex's, like, I was actually talking to my sister-in-law, Jessie, because she's been in like 4 weddings in the last 2 years. Like, you have to go to all the things, buy the dresses. I mean, that becomes really, really expensive. I don't know how people do it. Especially when, like, all these destination weddings and stuff like that. I mean, it gets to be really, really expensive. But yeah, today's Caroline's wedding anniversary. I remember thinking, like, Caroline and my aunt, I remember leading up to it, like, argued so much about this wedding. Like, Caroline didn't really care about the specifics of it. I mean, she did, but she didn't. But it was really my aunt being like, well, this has to happen. And then my cousin would be like, I don't want to do that. Like, I don't think that's important for the wedding. And my aunt would be like, no, we have to do that. And the reception, all this kind of stuff. My aunt wanted it to be perfection. I think it was more of my aunt's dream than my cousin's. My cousin Caroline probably could have eloped and been completely fine, in all honesty. But I remember the wedding lasted, I mean, with my mom read the Corinthians, you know, love is this, love is that. I love that part of the Bible. My mom read that. There was one other reader, I don't remember who it was, and then all that. The pictures took 2 hours or something, and then the whole wedding, I think, took like, with both of our readings, took like a half an hour, and the exchanging the vows. And I can remember all of this. That had a huge deal to weigh in to, like, our wedding when we got married, because I can remember thinking all of this for a half an hour, and then the reception was like 6 hours. The reception was really, really fun. But I can remember thinking, like, this is crazy, all of this. My mom, though, she used to love going to weddings with her sorority sisters, like, when all their kids would get married and stuff like that. She went to a wedding, like, it was like every summer she'd have, like, 3 weddings. She'd be like, oh, we danced all night long. It was me, and then Susie was in town, and we danced and danced and danced and danced and danced. And she'd say, we had a little cake, and we had a cup of coffee, and then we danced. My mom loved going to the weddings. Oh, my God, after she got sober, it was like, she loved weddings. I will say this, weddings are more enjoyable at my age now. Like, I think it was about, I don't remember how long ago it was. Alex just was in the kitchen and turned the light off. I don't remember how long ago it was, but there was a long time, I'd say at about year 2 of us being together, when the couples that we were friends with started getting married. For about the next, like, 8 to 10 years, like, any couple that would get married that we were friends with, it was like they would always put us, like, salt and pepper shakers. I got that from some movie. Some movie they said that about a gay couple, and it's so true. They would put us, like, salt and pepper shakers at the end of a wedding. Or, like, so, like, one of us would be on the groom's side, one of us would be on the bride's side. But they wouldn't have us, like, they'd have us in matching suits. So we would walk down together. Like, that's why they would do it. And then they would have us, like, in matching suits, but that didn't, like, match the color theme, but didn't match the bridesmaids' dresses and didn't match the groomsmen's suits, but they were different suits. So then we're standing on it was always the same deal. And for a long time, what would happen is, because Alex was typically friends with the girls, I would be on the guy's side. Well, then what happens is they go to the bachelorette party, and I would have to go to the groom's party, or the groom's, what's it called, the bachelor weekend. I'll never forget this. The last one was, and this was friends, we were really good friends with this couple. And they were doing it the same weekend. And I was really, like, good friends with him, but I didn't really know a lot of his friends. And they were very, like, rugged type guys. And I didn't really know them that much. And they were taking an RV to the middle of West Virginia in the woods to go hiking. Which turned into be a shit show, because they ended up going to this, like, country bar. And, like, fights ensued and all this kind of stuff. And they were there for, like, 3 nights. In the middle of West Virginia in the woods. While Alex and the girls were going to be at the Public Hotel in Chicago, going out to bars and eating, like, elegant dinners. And I was real upset about it. I was like, I don't, like, I would not, first of all, it was going to be a major drinking weekend with these guys, and I was like, going to have no cell service, and I was like, I'm not putting myself in the middle of this. I'm just not doing it. And it was so hard for me. I reached out to him and I was like, hey, like, I don't know these guys that are part of your wedding party, blah, blah, blah. I think it's so nice that you ask us to be in the wedding. I know that, I know when I say this already, I'm going to get scrutiny for this, and I don't really care. He was totally understanding of it, so everybody else should be too. And this was, I don't know, 15 years ago or something. But, yeah, because they got married. Oh, no, it would have been 12 years ago, because they got married the year after we did, because they got engaged at our wedding. And so I said, would you care if I went with them? And he was like, Peter, no, not at all. He was like, you're not going to have any fun with us anyway. He's like, it's going to be a rowdy-ass weekend. And I said, I know. He goes, and I honestly, I was going to say something to you because I didn't think you'd really fit in. So I ended up going with Alex and the girls, who I was friends with all the girls anyway, so that's where I should have been, to the public hotel. But they would always do that. So finally, about 10 years ago, I was like, please don't put me in any more weddings. I would love to come. I will buy a very nice gift. But please just let me sit in the audience. I mean, there's a certain age, I think, unless your friends are getting married older. Last time I said this, people were like, there's no age on a bridesmaid. Listen, okay, it's an honor that somebody asks you to be in a wedding, but you can put my husband in a wedding. I don't need to be in a wedding, okay? Like, his girlfriends can put him in weddings. I don't need to be in a wedding. I can be the husband sitting in the audience. There's a lot of bridesmaids that their husbands are never part of the wedding party, and vice versa. I don't need to be in a wedding ever again. Ever again. I am totally fine. And I'll be honest with you, now, I kind of enjoy the weddings. Well, the New Year's one, my anxiety was so bad. But these weddings that are coming up, like, we've got one in the fall, I think. I feel like Alex told me that one of his friends is getting married on Valentine's Day, but they may do a destination wedding, and that might not be bad. Oh, no. They're doing, like, a small thing, destination, and, like, a bigger thing here. I don't know which one's on Valentine's Day. So, that'd be kind of a fun Valentine's Day, I think. It's not, like, the same as, like, New Year's. But those weddings I'm excited about. And I know a lot of people at those weddings, so that'll be fun. But I don't know, I look at weddings differently. There was a long period of time where I just didn't love going to weddings at all. I just thought, it wasn't anything about the wedding or the people. I just didn't want to get dressed up and go to a wedding. It was really no deeper than that. Hey, how are you? So anyway, but 30 years today, Caroline and Mike are celebrating. It seems crazy. Seems like a million years ago. Caroline and I were just talking about it the other day because we were talking about, like, her dad's first heart attack. But anyway, I texted Caroline. I said, happy anniversary. I hope you're having fun on your girls' trip. Do you know, it's so funny because there's always, like, this, like, commentary about, like, oh, Alex never spends any time with Peter and stuff. And, you know, like, I said something to Caroline about something, I don't know, about, like, good thing you don't live online, because, like, this was a long time ago. Like, as much as you go out without Mike, she's like, I don't give a fuck. She's like, let people think what they want to think. She's like, we've got a great marriage. And she's like, and you have a great marriage. She's like, why do people think anything different? Because your husband goes out to dinner a couple nights a week? She goes, I go out to dinner almost, like, every night with the girls, and I hang out with girls. She goes, Mike doesn't want to leave the house. She's like, he enjoys being at home, and he's a homebody. She's like, what's wrong with that? She's like, our marriage totally works for us. She goes, people that make those judgments are people that are in horrible marriages themselves, or are miserable people. She's like, when you're happy in your own marriage, you don't worry. She's like, those are miserable people and miserable marriages that are constantly picking apart other marriages. I go, you think so? She goes, oh yeah, because I've known people like that. People that don't get it, but then they're constantly complaining about their own marriages, you know, or they can't keep it together. I was like, well, maybe, I don't know. Anyway, in case you're keeping check, he's not going out to dinner tonight. But maybe tomorrow night. And he didn't go out to dinner last night, but he did sleep all night long last night. And he did go to a bachelor party this weekend. A bachelorette party this weekend. That's because he's not in love with me anymore. He's ready to get out the door. After 17 years, he's ready to get out the door. Baby, the door is open. Don't let the door hit you where the good Lord splits you, baby. Oh, my Lord. It does look like it's going to rain again, though. It's crazy to even think that Alex and I have been together. In August will be 17 years, you know? And, it seems surreal to me. keep on saying we'll be married 13 years. Why am I always a year behind on the wedding? But we got married in 2011, which means that'll be 14 years we're celebrating, right? It'll be 14 years. That's crazy to think. I was talking to somebody the other day, and I was like, how long have you guys been married? And they're like, a long time, 8 years. I was like, I've been with my husband twice. They're like, you guys have been together that long? I'm like, yeah. People don't really think of like gay couples in the context of being together for a really long time. The friends, okay, so my exes, 2 friends I'm really good friends with, still to this day, he doesn't really talk to them. The lesbian couple from Southern Indiana, they have been together. So they got married the year that we started dating, which was 2001. So they dated like 5 years before that. So this will be 24 years they've been together in October, or they've been married. 24 years they've been married, right? In October. So they're coming up on 30 years together. I think that's pretty phenomenal, you know, when you talk about relationships in our world today. And I don't know, I just think it's really a cool thing. I'm really proud of our relationship and our marriage, and it hasn't been easy at all, you know. But I think it's working through the hard times and stuff like that that make it all, well, worth it. We don't really have as many, though. I mean, there were a couple years where it was pretty bad. Like, I didn't think we would stay together. And in retrospect, after talking to Alex, he's like, yeah, I didn't know that we would either at that time. I just don't think that our focus was on us and our long-term goals together, and that's changed. I think we... You know, it's interesting, like, this... It's kind of interesting, this whole, like... I was bringing up the commentary of, like, people in the past that have criticized and been like, oh, doesn't it upset you that Alex goes out every night? Here's the thing. Like, I was in that relationship. I was in that relationship before where... My ex never did anything without me. Never. I mean, we literally sat on the couch next to each other every single night and watched TV. And I would go over to Tanya's house, and then when I would come home, or like when I was over there, he would call and be like, how much longer are you going to be there? And I had been there for like 20 or 30 minutes. You know? And there are a lot of people that I know that are in those relationships, and it works for them. That's what they want. And I think that's great. I don't think you really know somebody else's relationship until you're inside of it, right? Like, so who are we to judge anybody else's relationship, right? But like, when I was in that, I thought that felt safe and comfortable until I got out of it. And then when I got out of it, and especially like being single for a year, I was like, I don't ever want to be that again. Like, I want to be able to do what I want to do. If I want to stay up till 4 o'clock in the morning, I want to stay up till 4 o'clock in the morning, you know? Like, it's interesting that people from time to time will be like, doesn't Alex get upset you stay up late? I will never be in a relationship where my husband gets upset because I choose to stay up late. Like, that will never be a relationship that I'm in, period. End of story. My mother, and I think it has a lot to do with my mom. My mom would say, I want to be, it's getting dark again, it's going to rain. My mom would say, I would like to be with somebody, but I don't want to be with a man that's going to say, okay, turn the TV off, it's time to go to bed. I have friends of mine, literally I have friends of mine, not good friends, but I have friends of mine. Well, I had a good friend of mine back in the day. My friend that went out after, you know, double-digit years of sobriety, she would say that to all the time to us. Like, oh, nope, he comes in at like 10:30, turns the TV off and says, it's time to go to bed. Let's go to bed. And she'd go upstairs and she'd lay in bed for 2 hours, couldn't sleep. Just lay there. I'm not being in that relationship. You know, and I think a lot about it is communication. I mean, like, whenever Alex has dinner plans and stuff like that, he'll be like, do you want to come? I'm always the one that says no, because I like to stay at home, you know? Hey, how are you? But it's interesting that it took me to so my first relationship was a lot of going out. And then when Alex and I got together, we went out a lot. And I felt like I needed to keep up with that. And then when I came back to the rooms, I was like, And I mean, Alex and I had a sit-down conversation, and I said, I cannot continue to do this. I don't want to continue to do this. If you want to, that's fine. And that's when we kind of like started rearranging our schedule, and we still do like all the time, you know? Like every Sunday I ask him, like, what are your plans for the week? What dinners do you have? Blah, 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 whatever. And he'll say, like, this week I'm doing this, whatever. This is like, husbands are going, you can go if you want to. Nobody, you know, this is just me and my girlfriend, whatever. And he always asks me, do you care? And I'm like, no, babe, go do what you want to do, you know? I always ask him, like, do you care if I go to a meeting with Tanya? No, babe, I don't care. Do you care if I go here with somebody or there? He's like, no, not at all. That's the relationship that I need to be in, and that's the relationship that works for me, where we each have our own form of independence. And in all honesty, I don't really care what other people think about that. I don't, because it works for me. When I start caring what other people think about it, I start thinking that my relationship should look differently than it does. And I did that a lot of my life. I thought that my life should look differently than it did. I thought this should look differently than it does. I thought, you know, the way that I dressed should look differently than it did. The way that I spoke should look... I mean, I always was basing it off of what everybody else... Oh my God, the tripod fell again. Where am I on time? Because the tripod has fallen so much. What was I saying? But, you know, like, I changed so much of my life through... I changed myself so much through my life of, like, trying to match the status quo or what other people thought was, like, the right idea or what worked for them. Like, you know, this is what you have to do. Like, this is how you have to dress. This is how you have to talk. This is what you should do with your money. This is what kind of job you should go into. The moment I stopped caring and started doing what made me happy and what worked for me was the moment I started feeling like I had a little bit of control over my life again. And that didn't happen to me until very, very late in life. That I started feeling like... I started feeling some ownership over my own life, you know? None of our lives are going to look exactly like anybody else's. At all, you know? If I, like, laid down... Just like the marriage thing, for example. If I laid down, like, my marriage next to Caroline and Mike's, next to Tanya and Eric's, next to, like, Valerie's relationship with her boyfriend, next to, like, Nikki's relationship with her husband, or Mel's relationship with her husband, or Melissa and Jason, or the friends I was just talking about that got married the year after we did, or my neighbors. Like, all of our marriages look so differently. Look so different. But for some reason, as different as they look, they work, you know? They seem to work. Everybody seems happy to me. They're not breaking up tomorrow, you know? I don't know why that is. I just know that what people need is differently. I think... I love being in a relationship where if my husband wants to go out to dinner, he feels like he can go out to dinner. If I want to stay at home, I can feel like I can stay at home. And sometimes, in all honesty, I'm ready for him to go out to dinner so that I can have that, you know, a little bit of the house to myself at night and whatever. And other times, I'm craving for him to be home. And we've talked about that. He feels the same way as me. That's no diss. You know, like... I think I think, like, this is, like, a misconception, is I think that you should never, like, complain or vent about your partner to somebody. I think that's very normal. Tanya actually normalized it for me. Way back. Tanya, we get, you know, driving around having a fountain pop or something, and she'd say something that, you know, her husband did that pissed her off, and then 5 minutes later, and she'd be like, I love that man so much, you know? I think that's normal. I think that we don't see that on TV shows and movies, right? I think communication between people and saying what your needs are and stuff like that. I could not be in that relationship again. If I was in the relationship where if I felt so insecure in my relationship that I felt like I needed my man to sit next to me every single night, I would be checking myself in therapy being like, why am I so insecure that I'm worried about all this kind of stuff? You gotta have what you need in your own relationship, you know? I think for a long time, like in my past relationship, I tried so hard to do what I think the past 2 relationships, I tried to be what I thought they wanted me to be. You know, And I came into this relationship trying to be what I thought he wanted me to be. Which I thought was like go out a lot and all that kind of stuff at first. When I started being who I could be in my relationship, allowing myself to be who I am, and go out when I want to, go out to dinners when I want to, and stay at home when I want to. And really, Alex is like that too these days, you know. I mean, there is an age difference between us. I mean, by the time he's 52, you think he's going to be wanting to go out to dinners 4 nights a week? He's probably not. I don't. I mean, Tanya and I talk all the time about, I don't have that much, I love Tanya, I don't have that much to say to her over a 4-hour dinner. I just don't. I mean, we talk every night on the phone, you know what I mean? But I mean, Alex and I are, I think that's the important piece that's come out of marriage counseling, is are constantly like checking in on each other of what we need from each other, and what makes the other person feel happy or what makes the other person feel safe, instead of guessing what that is. You know, like I can remember when I started going back to meetings and I said to Alex, I'm not going out anymore. And he was like, and I was scared to tell him that. That's the conversation that I've referred to a lot of times when I said, I'm either going to save myself and I'll save the marriage will be saved in the process, or I'm going to save myself and it won't. But either way, I'm going to save myself. I really thought that might be where he was like, okay, well, like, so you're going to be in meetings all the time, I'm not, I'm going to be at home, or, you know, whatever. I thought that might be where we went our separate ways, but he just stepped in fully and supported me 100%. And I think it surprised me a little bit. And I think when I started being like when I started stepping into myself, of allowing myself, because I came out of a really, really, I hate this saying because people say it all the time, the dark space, you know. But I came out of a really, the squirrels in the tree, a really depressed, unhappy, not motivated, the battery just went to the halfway mark, uninspired time in my life. It was just, I had no spiritual experience, I had no spiritual foundation, I was very unhappy, I had no emotional sobriety whatsoever. When I came back into the rooms and I thought, I have to do this for me, no matter who else. It was really the first thing in our marriage in a very long time, in our relationship, that I have ever done for me. That single piece allowed us to both fully step into what we needed for each other. Like, I need this for me, he needs that for me, and communicating that to each other. You know, and then it was like our relationship, and then after that, going to couples counseling, just really like, it's like our friend Carol says, where you fall in love with the person because they continue to change and grow over and over and over again in time, you know? And I'm so grateful for that. I think that's where the dependence came, that I felt like I don't know who I am without Alex in my life. I don't know who I am without my exes in my life. I don't know who I am without a guy standing next to me. Once I realized I'm good enough on my own, I don't need a man standing next to me. We choose each other, like our past therapist said to us, was where things really started to pivotally change in our relationship, honestly. Because then we started to respect and honor each other for who we were as human beings, not who we were trying to be for the other person. I don't want my husband ever to say no to a dinner because he thinks I'd rather have him sitting on the couch next to me. I don't. Now, he can ask me, and if I say, tonight I'd like you to watch a movie, you know what I'm saying? Like, that's different. I don't want him to ever say, no, like, I'm not going to go because I think Peter, ask me. If I want you to stay at home, I'll say stay at home. And vice versa, you know? Like, we have those conversations with each other. We have those communication with each other today. There is never once that he does something or I do something where we don't run it by the other person, you know? I know relationships, in all honesty, the one thing we don't do is with spending. We don't. And we don't fight over money, ever. He's got his money, I got my money. We all put our money together to pay the monthly bills, and it works for us. I've shared that before, too. I know couples that, like, I've got friends of mine that'll be like, oh, the cardinal's over there. The male cardinal. I'll be like, she'll be like, oh, I kind of want to get this new lamp for $30 for our living room. And I'll be like, well, you should get it. No, I've got to run it by him first. He'll get really upset if I spend it. They'll have 5 conversations over buying a $30 lamp and how much they'll get pissed off about that, but they will never have a conversation about any kind of, like, emotional boundaries within their relationship. I don't know, maybe that's why we've been together 17 years, because we have those conversations. And I'm not saying we're any better or any worse than anybody, I'm just saying this is what we do for us. This is what we have to do for us, you know? And Caroline and Mike have those same conversations. And Eric and Tanya have those same conversations. And those are why those are couples that I look to, you know? I notice with my neighbors who've been together, I mean, they've been together like over, I don't know, 40, 50 years, so have they. And like, I look at them and how they communicate to each other. You think it's all kisses on the cheek and I love you? No, it's not. It's at all. But I notice how they communicate to each other and how they tell each other their needs. And, you know, it's so funny because she'll like, you know, like she'll like roll her eye. I mean, I think that's all part of marriage. But I think marriage is really about like communicating with each other and really asking each other what they need and what you need and stuff like that. You know, like, a little chipmunk. I'm trying to think of an example, but like, well, like on Sundays, like Alex, I'll always say like, what dinners do you have this week or what plans do you have? And he'll ask me the same thing. We put it in each other's like, he puts it in his calendar and I put it in mine. And then he'll like, you know, he'll say like, you know, do you care if I go? And I'll be like, no. And I'll be like, do you care if I go to this? Do you mind taking me to Tanya's on Tuesday? No, babe, not at all, whatever. And so we communicate about those things. I think that kind of communication is a lot of what's missed. I think, like in my past relationships that did not work, I don't know that we ask each other how we felt about things. We just did them. And then if somebody got upset, it was like apologizing or trying to make it right. It was no like, chipmunk just keeps on running back and forth. Like asking somebody how you feel, you know? And that doesn't just extend to romantic relationships. That extends to family. That extends to, you know, that extends to family. That extends to friends and things like that, you know? And just like asking about those things. And I think that that's really important, you know, like with Tanya and I, this is a good example. You know, for years and years and years, Tanya, I'd be like, I text her and I'd be like, hey, do you want to go to this? Do you want to do that? And she'd be like, not tonight, not tonight, not tonight. And then what I realized was, I've shared this on here before, that when Tanya would say yes, I knew she really wanted to be there. And for a long time, my feelings would get hurt. I'd be like, she don't want to do anything with me. But then what I realized was that she had worked all day long at work. She just wanted to lay on the couch and watch a TV show. It was not personal. It was not about me. And so then she, you know, when she did say yes, that she wanted to be there, then she was there. And I knew she really wanted to be there. You know, and I remember I said that to her one time and she said, why didn't you just ask me? Because it was never personal. She goes, I would have said to you, well, hey, you. Where are you going?
Going to book club.
What book? I heard about it.
James.
Yeah. Oh, but the Percival?
James, yeah.
Was it good?
Story.
Yeah, was it good?
It's really good, yeah.
Okay.
Interesting perspective.
I was just talking about what an amazing marriage you guys have, even though you roll your eyes at your husband all the time.
Of course I do. That's the most productive way to get him to do anything.
Have fun. You forgot your wine.
No, it's being supplied.
Oh, it's being supplied. But I remember saying something to Tanya about that, and she said, well, why didn't you ask me? And I said, I don't know, Tanya, like, I'm real shy with that kind of stuff. And so now, like, if I ask her to do something, and vice versa, we both do this. Like, if I say, like, do you want to do something? She'll say, not tonight, babe. Like, I just want to sit and watch a movie with Eric. She always says Eric, or whatever. And it's not personal. But I think sometimes we don't communicate about, with, not Tanya and I, but just in general in the world, we don't communicate how something that somebody says or does makes us feel. And so then we're borrowing a feeling, we're borrowing trouble, like my mom used to say about something, and instead of having very direct conversations. And sometimes, like, I'll never forget when our past therapist said this to us, the people that we are having the conversations with, we are more likely to go to a best friend, a friend, somebody else, than to our spouse or partner and tell them we'll go to our best friend and complain about, which I think some of that's normal venting, like I said. But we'll go to our best friend and take issues that we have that we will never bring to our partner or spouse. Well, we stopped that stuff 10 years ago. We stopped that stuff 10 years ago. We got an issue, we bring it home, and we have a conversation about it. Then you don't ever have to wonder where you stand, you know? But anyway, happy anniversary, Caroline and Mike. Thank you for being such amazing role models to the relationship and the marriage that we have today that makes me so happy in life. Okay, so last night, 1,000 Pound Roomies, and then I finished Harper's Island. I already talked about that, and I loved it. And I've been drinking that sleep tea. Oh my Lord, the ducks are coming over here. I've been drinking that sleep tea. I'm almost out of it. I'm gonna have to buy. I asked for recommendations and nobody said anything. But anyway, I feel like it's doing the opposite on me. I feel like it's making me kind of like stay awake longer or whatever. Like, I don't know, I'm just struggling with it. Like, I was having an easy time falling asleep, but I've been drinking that. Oh, it is LaDonna. Hey, LaDonna. Can you kind of tell when a duck is pregnant? Like, she looks heavier to me. She is hungry that she came over there for the corn. Do you ever wonder, like, who ducks would be if they were like people, though? Do you know what I mean? Like, what they would look like? I don't know why I'm kind of imagining my family as, like, the Slayton family. Anyway. You going to book club?
Yep, I am.
Everybody's going to book club.
These guys aren't.
They're not going to book club. They're going to dinner. That's the book club that my neighbor said, oh, you should join. And then she goes, oh, I don't know that you would. Because, anyway, did I share about why? There's like one super, super religious woman on the book club that, like, if they have more than one glass of wine, she's like, are you sure you're going to have another glass of wine? So she's like, I think maybe your opinions with hers would kind of, so I was like, I'm not being on that book club. Now, Laura and I have this book club that Nikki and I are like halfway through. I think Nikki's almost done with Alien Barbarians. And I asked Laura yesterday or the day before, I said, how far are you in that book? She goes, oh, I haven't read any more. I go, any more since when? And she goes, since we were at the pool. I go, you didn't even finish the first chapter. She goes, I haven't read anything. I've been busy. I go, with what? She goes, potting plants and stuff. I go, you got to make time. This is our book. She was the one that said she didn't want to start things and not finish them. And I said to her, I go, you were the one that said you didn't want to start things and not finish them. She started laughing at me. She goes, I got enough going on right now. I said, okay. She said, I thought we were going to read it the whole summer. I said, one book the whole summer, girl? So anyway, but I am committed to finishing it. Nikki and I were laughing about it the other day because she goes, I think I'm out after the first one. I said, I think what's funny is I kind of want to find out what happens to all these people now that are, you know, that are, the aliens come and protect them and all that kind of stuff. So I think I kind of want to keep on reading them. I don't know if I want to read 20 books in the series, but anyway. They are so funny. These ducks, they are so funny. They're just like standing there like... So tonight, Alex and I will either watch RuPaul's Drag Race, and then we have 2 episodes of Atlanta to catch up on. Or I'll take my walk and he'll watch Love Island and we'll watch it tomorrow night. Or not. Saturday, he has informed me now we are having brunch with his family. And then when we come home, he is thinking about laying out the pool. So if I want to go with him, I can, or I can film like a video. So I'll probably like go to the pool for an hour, and then if it's nice and it's not crowded. If it's crowded, he will not go. And then, or his friend's dad has a pool too, so that's another option that she goes to a lot. And so then we're going to dinner that night, so we don't have to leave here until like I think like 7 or 7:30. And so that's the friend's dinner, and that's Saturday night. So I'll probably just do a vlog on Saturday. Unless it rains or something, but I think it's supposed to be really nice all day Saturday. I think it's like 93, I looked yesterday, and nice. And then Sunday, we'll probably do brunch, maybe go to the pool or something. I'll just vlog. So it's going to be kind of a fun weekend. I'm excited about it. Friday, I'll be filming videos on Friday. Oh, the battery is flashing because he's doing the brunch. So that's our weekend. Birthday weekend for Alex. Very excited about it. Already got his birthday present. Oh, I shared that yesterday. Anyway, I'm going to get off here, try to get on my walk. I hope you guys are having a magically amazing Tuesday. And if nobody else has told you this today, I love you guys, and I will see you tomorrow. Bye. Love ya.